a major twist in Hunter Biden's tax evasion case.
On the day his trial was set to begin, with 120 potential jurors waiting, Biden pleaded guilty to all 9 counts against him. He told his legal team he did not want to put his family through another trial following his gun conviction in Delaware 3 months ago. Joining us now is criminal defense attorney Rachel Fiset. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
You know, it is interesting to me, having watched his other trial in Delaware, there were so many comments afterward of how the women in his life really had to stand up and go, you know, to the stand and have this emotional testimony. This would have brought about even more potentially embarrassing or humiliating pieces of information. Was this a surprise to you that he changed his plea?
This was a surprise in the way he changed his plea. It's incredibly unusual to get to the day of trial, come to the court in what everyone thinks is going to be jury selection and beginning the trial, and instead come in and say, never mind, I'm just going to plead guilty. I'd like to skip the entire trial. And there are no negotiations. I have no particular deal. I am just going to plead. And he did this in an unusual way to start, but the end of the day ended in this just open plea, meaning there's no special treatment, there's no deduction in possible sentencing. It's simply, yes, I'm guilty, let's just skip all these details that are about to come out.
It definitely was a twist in the case yesterday. What is an Alford plea and how common is it?
So he started the day with what is called an Alford plea, which is incredibly rare and unlikely to be approved, but in most circumstances, an Alford plea is saying, I believe that the government has all of the evidence they need to convict me, so I will just go ahead and say I have been convicted. I will accept the conviction of the charges. But you know what? I'm going to maintain that I'm innocent. So yeah, they have the evidence, but I'd like to still say publicly I am innocent. And this is really not what plea deals are based on. This is not what our justice system generally looks like when someone pleads. When they plead, they're supposed to be admitting guilt, showing remorse, and saying they committed the elements of the crimes. So that didn't work.
Well, he has dealt with addiction issues. I think it was maybe one last attempt to say, you know, this wasn't, that maybe I did it, but I'm innocent of it because of those issues, right? Like that was maybe part of it. He does face now, though, large fines and up to 17 years in prison. How likely is it he'll be sent to prison in this particular case?
I think it's very possible that he will get a prison sentence from the judge. He is a second-time offender now. He already has the felony conviction on the gun charges, so that raises his sentencing guidelines as it relates to going to prison. So I would not be surprised if the judge sentences him. Whether he goes or not, whether something happens as it relates to a commutation or a pardon of that sentence, we still won't know, because that will all happen in December after the election, but before President Biden is out of office.
And Rachel, his attorneys have said the government targeted him, that this prosecution was politically motivated. Is there something to that? Would he have been prosecuted in the same way if his name wasn't Hunter Biden?
I think those are all pretty fair statements by his defense team, given that he did pay $2 million for the penalties and the back taxes. And while he may have been prosecuted in some way, 9 charges, 3 felony charges, and no chance of lessening those charges through a plea deal seems pretty harsh in those circumstances.
All right. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for walking us through all this. We appreciate you being with us this morning.
Thank you.